welcome everyone to another round of. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's a huge game between Prestonwood Christian and Trinity Christian Academy. Huge rivals between the two teams. We'll get your starting lineups real fast before the game gets underway. Starting lineups for TCA. You know them. The same five that started the past few games. John Shaw, Hudson Newhoff, Luke Glover, Brady Freeman, and Brett Kaufman. Those are your starters tonight for TCA. Starters for Prestonwood tonight. We got them already. Justin Webster, number 0. Keller Boothby, number 11. Mateo Etchik, number 4. Tyler Uting, number 12, and Beck Atkins, number 15. Those are your starters for Prestonwood Christian Academy. Quick recap of previous games for TCA. TCA comes into this game 4-10 in the season. After a huge game last week against Liberty, or not last week, Tuesday. Last week against Liberty Christian, came back from down 11 at half to come back and win by 3. Huge game for Brady Freeman, back-to-back 20-point games, and looks to keep the hot streak going. So we shall see what happens is going. We're getting ready for tip-off. We are Prestonwood Christian, a very, very good team. 6-1 in district. Only loss was to Parish Episcopal, who TCA already beat. TCA and Prestonwood already played this year. It was the first game of the season for both teams. TCA ended up losing that one badly. Early foul trouble hurt TCA a lot early in the game. Their big men, Hudson Newhoff, Luke Glover, hurt them for the rest of the game. And Prestonwood was able to capitalize and take home the winner. TCA, we're going to change that and take home a victory tonight. Tip about to come. Hudson Newhoff at number 12. Tyler Uting for Prestonwood tipping. And the tip. Newhoff will retain possession and bring it up the floor. He'll give it to Brett Kaufman, guarded by Keller. To Newhoff. Newhoff to Freeman. Freeman guarded by Justin Webster. Kaufman gives it in the corner to Newhoff. Newhoff. Good pass to Glover. Glover to Freeman. TCA looking to go inside. Kaufman working on Keller Boothby. Gives it to Freeman at the top, guarded by Webster again. Webster trying to lock down Freeman so he can't score very much. John Shaw with the ball now. Gets some separation, drives inside, puts up a 2. TCA gets out to an early 2-0, number 5. Stevens brings it up the floor for Prestonwood. Stevens will give it to Webster. Webster set it up. He'll give it to Boothby. Back to Keller. Webster with the ball to Boothby. Inside to number 4. Put up a 2, and it's good for Prestonwood. Tie game 2-2. John Shaw working on Stevens. We'll bring it up the floor. He'll give it to Glover. Glover looking around. Glover to John Shaw. Working on Stevens. The Glover, open 3, doesn't take it. Guarded by Uting. John Shaw with the ball. Steps back, puts up for a 3. John down. 5 points for John Shaw already in the night. 5-2 lead for TCA. TCA doing a good job taking good shots. Work on keeping controlling their passes, not letting Prestonwood get him. Webster with the ball. He'll kick it to Stevens. Stevens to Webster to Keller Boothby. Webster driving in. Puts up a floater. Webster's floater is good. Makes the score 5-4 now. 6 minutes to play. John Shaw with the ball. Stevens once again on him. He'll give it to Kaufman. Kaufman guarded by Boothby. Gives it to Newhoff. Newhoff looking around. He'll hand it off to John Shaw. To Freeman, and a foul's call. Offensive foul on number 3, Brett Kaufman. 3. That foul was on Brett Kaufman. It's a turnover. TCA can't afford any turnovers in tonight's game. Stevens will bring it up for Prestonwood. He'll give it to Webster. Webster back to Stevens. Stevens to Boothby and back to the top to Stevens. Stevens to Webster. Cross court pass to Keller. Almost throws it away. Boothby back to Stevens. Stevens drives inside. Cross court pass to Keller. Swings it again to Eschik. Eschik's three is good. Mateo Eschik also with 5 points in this game. 7-5 Prestonwood lead now. Glover with the ball. Bring it up for TCA. He'll be guarded by Uding. Gives it to Kaufman. Kaufman guarded by Boothby. Back to Glover. Glover back to Newhoff. Trading passes back and forth. Kaufman drives inside. Oh, puts up a wild layup. No good. Rebounded by Prestonwood. Stevens brings it up. Cross court pass to Keller. Boothby's three is no good, and it's rebounded by Prestonwood. Eschik puts up a wild layup. No good. Rebounded by Brett Kaufman of TCA. John Shaw will bring it up. 4:45 to play now. John Shaw working on it. Gives it to Freeman. Freeman around to Webster. Tries to get separation. Does, but can't get anything. Gives it to Kaufman. Kaufman looking around. He'll give it to Glover. Glover to Kaufman. Kaufman guarded by Keller Boothby. Ooh, Kaufman with a nice move. Drives inside. Pass to Newhoff. Newhoff to Glover. Oh, it's loose. Oh, Glover somehow retains it. John Shaw. Three-pointer short, and foul's called. Foul on Glover. That was an unneeded foul, I think, from Glover. That's his first foul. TCA, if you remember back in the first game, did not broadcast it due to some interruptions during that time. Prestonwood got TCA into foul trouble early. 12 Uding puts up a layup, no good. Rebounded by Luke Glover. Glover gives it to John Shaw. 7-5, 3:53 to play. First quarter. No subs for either team, no timeouts for either team so far. Glover looking around. Gives it to Kaufman. Kaufman trying to give it to someone open. Gives it to John Shaw. John Shaw looking around. Gives it to Newhoff. Newhoff looking around. Working on Eschik. Gives it to Freeman. Freeman for three. No good. Rebounded by Newhoff. Good rebound. Puts up a floater. No good. Rebounded by Prestonwood. Stevens brings it up the floor. Ooh, what a move. What a move by Stevens for Prestonwood. Going coast to coast. Puts up a layup, and it's good. 9-5 the score for Prestonwood now. 3 minutes to play. John Shaw with the ball. Gives it to Newhoff. Newhoff to Glover. Glover looking around, gives it to John Shaw. John Shaw guarded by Stevens. Gives it to Kaufman. Glover with the ball. Looking on Uding. He'll throw it to Kaufman. Kaufman. Ooh, good pass to John Shaw. John Shaw, nice. Freeman, excuse me. Good. Freeman. Freeman gets his first points of the game. 9-7 the score. Webster with the ball for Prestonwood. Gives it to Stevens. Stevens drills to the top of the key and gives it to Keller Boothby. Keller working around. Looking around, has to give it to Eschik. Eschik to Keller for three. Keller's three, no good. Rebounded by Glover. And a foul is called. Foul on Tyler Uding of Prestonwood. Sort of an unneeded foul for him, but anyways. It'll be a TCA ball. Glover gives it to John Shaw, and John Shaw will bring it up the floor for TCA. Loud atmosphere, both close schools, lots of students tonight. TCA going to my left, Prestonwood going to my right. Freeman working on Webster, trying to get separation. He'll give it to John Shaw. Kaufman. Kaufman looking around. Ooh, good move from Kaufman. Nice find to Newhoff. Newhoff's floater. Oh, rolls in and out. No good. He'll give it to Stevens. Stevens working on Brady Freeman. Oh, from Newhoff. Good. Hops, sets it up, looks around, cross court. Oh, bad pass from Freeman. Subs for Prestonwood, by the way. Number 23, Miles Hunt, is now in the game. After that foul on Uding got pulled, so Hunt is in the game for Prestonwood. Kaufman with the ball. Gives it to Freeman. Gives it to Newhoff, down, guarded. Oh, another sub for Prestonwood, excuse me. McKenzie now in the game. Oh, basket by Brett Kaufman. 9-9 the score. Minute to Webster with the ball. Gives it to Stevens. Webster looking around. Webster, a deep three. Oh, Justin Webster from almost the red line of where the volleyball court is with a three-pointer. My goodness. That's a three-pointer. Subs for TCA, Brett Kaufman will come out, and Gavin Thornton comes in for TCA. Score now 12-9, PCA lead, 52 seconds to play. Thornton with the ball, working up, trying to. He'll give it past to Brady Freeman. Freeman looking around. He'll give it to Glover at the top of the key. He'll work around, gives it back to Thornton. Jackson Plumley now in the game for Prestonwood. Oh, wild pass stolen by Prestonwood. Unneeded turnover again. Webster, wild layup. Ooh. Rebounded by Newhoff. Newhoff racing up the floor. Gives it to Thornton. Fakes a three. Oh. Hard pass, bad pass. Oh. Foul is on Justin Webster. That was a hard foul by Justin Webster on Gavin Thornton. With a push, Brett Kaufman will be back in the game. Gavin Thornton will come out. 12-9, 18 seconds to play, first quarter. Kaufman throws it in for TCA. He'll give it to John Shaw. 16 to shoot. 14. Oh, dangerous pass from John Shaw. Gives it to Glover, and Luke Glover traveled. That's a turnover. TCA and Prestonwood now have the last shot. Cody Henson now in the game. Luke Glover will come out. 11 seconds to play. (12-9), 8, 7, 6 to shoot, 4 to shoot. Hunt fakes a three, puts up a two. Hunt's two is good, and that'll do it for the first quarter. Miles Hunt gets a shot to go in. About 2 seconds left and the clock runs out, and the first quarter will come to an end. First quarter stats, once again, scored Prestonwood 14, Trinity Christian 9 at the end of the first quarter. Stat update for you: Justin Webster with 5 points, Mateo Eschik with 5 points as well, and Stevens with 2, and Miles Hunt with that 2 at the end of that quarter right there. For TCA, John Shaw got hot early, 5 points for him. Brady Freeman had a layup, and Brett Kaufman had a layup as well, bringing the total to 9. That's your first quarter scoring update. 14-9 once again the score at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter coming up. We will wait till everything gets set up. Players on the floor for Prestonwood: number 4, Eschik, 0, Webster, number 5, Stevens, number 23, Hunt, and number 14, Plumley. Players on the floor for TCA: Brett Kaufman, Cody Henson, Brady Freeman, Hudson Newhoff, and John Shaw. Webster gives it to Stevens and back to Webster. Webster to Plumley. Plumley gives it to Webster. Webster drives inside, cross out to Hunt. Hunt thinks about a three, doesn't take it. Gives it to Stevens. Stevens to Webster. Webster, three, no good. Rebounded by Brady Freeman. That was a bad shot from Justin Webster. And John Shaw will bring it up for TCA, guarded by Stevens. He'll give it to Henson. Henson to Newhoff in the corner. Newhoff looking around, needs to get rid of it. He'll dribble out. Ooh, good move on Eschik. Takes it all the way. Gives it to Kaufman. Wide open for three. Three rolls out, no good. Wide open three. Rare miss for Brett Kaufman. Stevens looking around. Gives it to Eschik. Eschik to Webster. Webster cross court to Miles Hunt. Hunt's three, no good. Rebounded by John Shaw. Freeman brings it up the floor, gives it to Kaufman. Kaufman on Webster. Puts up a, gives it to Cody Henson. Back to Kaufman. Kaufman for two this time. Good. Oh, that was a three. Excuse me. Brett Kaufman, as I said, doesn't miss many of those. Gets his three to go in. Now it's a 14-12 ball game. 14-12. Webster for PCA bringing it in. Oh. A foul was called. Touched him. Wow. Justin Webster made that look real bad, like a hit. Cody Henson, fouls on Cody Henson. So Cody Henson wasn't even near there, so interesting on how that was a foul. Anyways, Webster will shoot 2 free throws. First free throw from Webster is good. Checking in for Prestonwood, number 12, Uding. Coming in for Plumlee, number 10, Newhoff comes in, and Freeman has a seat. Webster's second free throw. Long, no good. Rebounded by Newhoff. TCA will bring it up the floor. John Shaw. Guarded by Stevens again. Gives it to Glover. Glover looking around. Give it to John Shaw. To Glover again. Back to Newhoff in the corner. Guarded by Uding. Newhoff. Oh, bad pass from Newhoff. Stolen by Stevens. Oh. Yeah, good steal from Newhoff. No good, and the foul was on John Shaw. Kaufman's three rattles out again. Both threes have gone in and bounced out. He should get him to go in sometime soon. 6:15 to play, second quarter. Prestonwood 15, TCA 12. Stevens bringing the ball in for Prestonwood. He'll give it to Keller Boothby. Boothby looking around. Webster's checked out for Prestonwood. Esha gives it to Boothby. Boothby for three. Boothby steps back and nails it. Score now 18-12 Prestonwood. John Shaw with the ball. Gives it to Newhoff. TCA's had chances to score, just hasn't fallen. Kaufman looking around. He'll give it to John Shaw. Shaw guarded by Stevens. Gives it to Newhoff. Newhoff. Gives it to Henson. Henson gives it back to John Shaw. John Shaw pulls up for three. Long, no good. Rebounded by Newhoff. Oh, and it was stolen. Stolen by Eschick. Eschick drives all the way in, puts up a layup, and it goes in. Eschick's layup is good. Score now. Prestonwood 20, TCA 12. It was a TCA took a 30-second timeout to talk it over, try and get something fixed. It's not like TCA has been not like they've been overrun by Prestonwood so far. They've had lots of open chances for threes, just rattled out. Couple of bad passes, bad turnovers, and a steal for Prestonwood have really been the deciding factor so far. Still again, 20-12 the score. Justin Webster back out on the floor for Prestonwood. Starters all out there except for number 23, Hunt. Stevens is checked out for Prestonwood. Players on the floor for TCA. The starters, Freeman, Kaufman, Newhoff, Shaw, and Glover. Glover will give it to John Shaw, and John will block it up the floor. Guarded by Webster. Looking around. It's kicked, and it's off of Hunt's hand. It'll retain TCA's possession. Kaufman will throw it in. Kaufman will give it to John Shaw. Inside to Glover. Glover to Kaufman. Kaufman looking around. Gives it to Newhoff. Newhoff had a cutting Glover. Couldn't see him. Didn't get it to him. Kaufman taking it inside. Gives it to Glover. Back to John Shaw. Cross court to Newhoff. Thinks about a three. Doesn't take it. Gives it to Freeman. Freeman inside. Nice find to John Shaw. Puts up a floater. Good. John Shaw with the floater. 20-14 the score now. 4:40 to play. Second quarter. Webster with the ball, gives it to Boothby. Back to Webster. Webster at the floor, gets a screen from Eshik. Oh! I don't understand how that's not a kickball, but oh well. Cross-court pass to Boothby in the corner. Three is no good. Rebounded by TCA. Luke Glover with the rebound. Glover brings it up. Looking around. Tries to give it to Freeman. Can't get it to him. Now gets the ball from John Shaw. Freeman takes it in. Cross-court to Newhoff. Newhoff driving in. Wants to set something up. And gives it to Kaufman at the top of the key. Kaufman looking around. Inside to Newhoff. Newhoff goes and takes it in, lays it in. Hudson Newhoff's first points of the night, 2 points for him. Boothby gives it to Webster. Webster drives inside and loses it. Oh, apparently it was kicked off at TCA. So to retain Prestwood possession. Hunt checks out for Prestwood. Number 5, Stevens back in. Webster throws it into Stevens. Stevens to Webster. Webster down to Eshik. All the way back to Stevens at the top. Webster, a deep three again. No good. Rebounded by Brady Freeman. Good rebound to keep it away from Eshik. John Shaw with the ball. 20-16 the score now. John Shaw working around, trying to set something up. Gives it to Kaufman. Kaufman working on Boothby. Trying to get separation. He'll give it. He still has it. He'll give it inside to Glover. Glover working around. Ooh, good move by Freeman. Doesn't get the ball though. Kaufman with the ball. Gives it to John Shaw. Guarded by Stevens. Inside to Newhoff. Newhoff. Cross court. Knocked out by number 0, Webster. TCA still with the ball. Freeman will throw it in for TCA. Subs for Prestwood. Number 13, McKenzie now in for them. Number 4, Eshik will check out. Once again, Freeman throwing it in for TCA. He'll give it to Kaufman. Kaufman guarded by Boothby. Kaufman working around, gives it to John Shaw. 2:45 to play. Second quarter, 20-16 the score. Kaufman inside to Newhoff. Newhoff, floater, good. Hudson Newhoff, the floater. 4 points for him on the night. Stevens bring it up, 20-18 the score now. Gives it to Boothby. Boothby cross to Webster. 2:30 to play. And a timeout by Prestonwood. TCA trying to put up a scoring run on a 6-0 run right now. Once again, score 20 to Prestonwood. TCA 18, 2:23 to play. Second quarter. We'll take a timeout as Prestonwood took a full timeout. We'll play some music. Just listen and we'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. After that timeout, it'll be Prestonwood ball. Once again, players on the floor for Prestonwood right now. Number 13, McKenzie. Number 5, Stevens. 0, Webster. 11, Boothby. And number 5, Stevens. Or number 23, Hunt. Excuse me, I already said Stevens. Webster with the ball for Prestonwood. Cross court to Boothby. Looking around. Stevens, guarded by Kaufman. Gives it to Webster. Webster looking around. Inside to Hunt. Hunt puts up a layup and it's good. Miles Hunt gets his 4th point of the game. John Shaw working on Stevens. Oh. Risky pass from John Shaw. Up to Glover. Glover driving in, gives it to Freeman. Freeman puts up a three. Brady Freeman's three is no good. Rebounded by TCA. And a foul is called. That foul will be on number 13. Number 13, McKenzie. Yes. Stay in TCA's possession. TCA will throw it in and look for a bucket. Minute 38 to play. Prestonwood 22. TCA 18. Kaufman with the ball. Kaufman working on Keller. Inside to Kaufman, retains it. He'll give it to John Shaw. John Shaw into Newhoff. Newhoff to Freeman. Freeman inside to John Shaw. John Shaw puts up a layup. No good. Rebounded by Boothby. That was a bad layup from John Shaw. And Justin Webster's quick layup is good. Transition layup is good. 24-18 now the score. Minute to play, second quarter. 24-18 the score. Glover with the ball. Guarded by Hunt. Gloves it, gives it to John Shaw. To Newhoff. Newhoff to John Shaw. John Shaw gets a screen. Thinks about a three, doesn't take it. Knocked out by Zero Webster. 40 seconds to play. Gives it to Newhoff. Kaufman with the ball. Kaufman gets a screen. Looking around, gives it to John Shaw, guarded by Stevens. Gives it to Glover in the corner. Glover looking around. Gives it to Newhoff. 26 to play. 23. 21. 19. 17 to shoot. Look like they'll hold it. Gives it to John Shaw. 10 to shoot. And then Newhoff. 7 to shoot. 6 to shoot. 4. 3 to shoot. 2 to shoot. John Shaw has to put it up. Called. So, after a late run for Prestonwood, John Shaw looked like he got slapped right there. No fouls called from the ref. So, at the end of the second quarter, the score now, Prestonwood 24, TCA 18. Good first half from both teams. A good basketball game going here. Good student sections from both teams. Great atmosphere. It's been a good game. Quick scoring update for you. John Shaw with 7 points. Hudson Newhoff with 4. Brady Freeman with 2. And Brett Kaufman with 5. Prestonwood scoring update. Justin Webster has 7 points. Matthew Eshik has 7 as well. Stevens has 2. Boothby has 3. And Hunt has 4. All totaling up to, once again, the score at halftime. Prestonwood 24, TCA 18. Should be an exciting second half, so I encourage you to join us back in about 8 minutes for the second half. Should be a good one. Hope to see you back. Thank you for listening. I'm David Ash, and join us about 7 minutes. We'll get you part 2 of this heated rivalry between Prestonwood and TCA. Thank you for listening.